皆さん、こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。今日はタイトルにもある通り、ビジネスとテクノロジーが学べる最強のプログラム。しかもこれシンガポールにある、シンガポールマネージメントユニバーシティのマスターオブ IT in ビジネスという名前からして今の時代にぴったりのプログラムなんですけれども、しかも今日はシンガポールに実際に勤務していらっしゃる卒業生3名に来ていただいております。日本人の方が1名、その中にはいらっしゃって、で、SMU のこのマスターオブ IT ビジネスを卒業して、シンガポールで事業会社だったりとか、あとはヘッジファンドにいらっしゃる方もいます。アルファアドバイザーズは今まで15年間、社会人の方と、あとは最近だと就職活動とか、ボスキャリとかも非常に多いんですけれど、キャリア、それから今回のような海外の大学院とか MBA のサポートをしてきました。で、今回のプログラムは、マスターですね。で、ただビジネスと IT が学べる学位が取れますよということで、入学時期は最短で2025年の1月に入ることもできます。で、その次のタイミングだと9月ですね。なので、最近はですね、大学生の方でも、就職活動、大学生もね、今、就職活動は、海外の経験がないと、外資の、いわゆる外資金融とか外資コンサル、あとはもちろん海外の就職っていうのはほとんどできなくなっている、かなり難しくなっている状況で、日系の投資銀行とかね、なんかもうほとんどもう海外経験がある人を取っているので、やはり一度就活にチャレンジして、やっぱりこれ海外経験ないとね、全然戦えないっていうことで、早めに海外に行きたいという方も来ています。なので、そういう大学生の方、あるいは大学院生の方は、来年の1月、9月からすぐに入ることもできますし、社会人の方ももちろん受け入れているプログラムです。で、アルファの動画でいつも様々な海外のビジネススクールとかマスターのプログラムをご紹介するんですが、シンガポールも皆さんの、最近はシンガポールに留学したいとか、でそのまま現地で働きたいとか、そういった行き先としてはすごく人気が出てきている地域ですね。税金が安いとか、あとはお子様の教育のことを考えてシンガポール選ぶ方もいます。でアメリカももちろん、いろんな教育は、優れた、えーボーディングスクールとか、もっと幼少期に通える学校とかあるんですけれど、シンガポールもね、かなり実はインターナショナルスクールとか、あと UWC という学校とか、すごく幼少期の教育が充実しているんですよね。あと税金も安いし、ね、家族で行こうっていう人ももちろん単身で行かれる方もいるんですが、今日はね、私も個人的にはシンガポール一押しなんですけれども、この前行ってきてね、やっぱすごく活気があってよかったですね。なかなか以前よりはね、いろんな日本人の方も行って、かなりいろいろな職種に就職、実際にアルファでもシンガポール就職成功されている方も増えてきましたし、今日はさっきお話した通り、特にヘッジファンドにいらっしゃる方も、あと現地の事業会社にいる方も、あと日本人の方にも来ていただいているので、留学ハードル高いなとか、自分がね、留学したいけど、海外に行って挑戦できるのかなと思っている方も、ぜひ今日の動画を見ていただいて、ご質問があれば YouTube でどんどん入れていただければお答えしますので、よろしくお願いいたします。セッションは英語でやるんですけど、ご質問は日本語でも大丈夫です。アルファでは今まで16年間、いろいろな大学院の留学、MBA も含めてですね、それからその後の就職活動もずっとサポートしてきました。最近はやはりもう海外で働きたい、もうそのまま留学して現地に残る方非常に多いですね。こういった外資金融とか商社とか、商社も海外でそのまま、海外の、ロケーションで就職する人もいますし、やはりシンガポールっていうとテクノロジーもそうですし、あとは金融とかに行く方も非常に多いです。アルファではこの留学のところもサポートしてますし、その後の就職活動も全部サポートしてますので、ぜひ皆さん、長期的な視野を一緒に考えて動いていきましょうと。で、今日はですね、これ後でちょっとウェブサイトを一緒に見ていこうかなと思うんですけれども、これ見ただけでもね、4つトラックがあるんですけれども、なんかすごそうですよね。AI とか、このアナリティクスですね。アナリティクス、あと AI、それからデジタルトランスフォーメーションと、これフィナンシャルテクノロジーアナリティクスとかっていうね、名前聞いただけでも、もう最強人材になれそうな、プログラムかなと思うんですが、 今日はアドミッションの方にまずプログラムの説明をしていただいて、その後に卒業生の方にいろいろね、お話を伺っていこうと思います。で、こちらが、このマスターイン IT、MITB のプログラムのページなんですけど、後でアドミッションの方からもね、詳しくお話ししていただきますが、これなんとですね、最短1年で終われると。で、しかも入学時期が、8月と1月とあるということで、かなりフレキシブルですよね。早めに行きたいという方はね、来年の8月まで待つっていうのだと、あと1年以上空いちゃいますので、できればもう早めにね、留学しちゃいたいっていう方なんかは、これ10月までまだ、アドミッション、締め切りがありますし、アルファで準備すれば、テストもありますけどね、10月だったら十分間に合うと思います。ですので、1月に入学したい方はもう本当にすぐに急いで一緒に準備できればと思いますし、8月の方も、一応こういったテストとかね、IELTS とか英語のテストもありますので、アルファで一緒に準備していただければと思います。アドミッションの方も、特にご興味がある方はね、このページを後で、YouTube のコメント欄に置いておきますので、こちらから登録していただければ、いろいろ、SMU のプログラムに限らず、いろんなプログラムのご相談もできますし、もう SMU 行きたいよっていう方は、アドミッションの方にご紹介したりもできます。かなり合格率が確変して、受かりやすく、ね、なるかなと思いますので、ぜひ興味がある方はお知らせください。はい。では、ここからはね、アドミッションの方にこの非常に魅力的なプログラムかなと思います。ここまでね、IT とビジネスがもうガチッと入ったプログラムってありそうで、実はね、なかなかないというところで、アドミッションの方にまずは詳しくお話していただこうと思います。So that's all for my introduction. So Pin, could you start your presentation?
Sure, give me a minute. Can everyone see my slides?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
thank you. And good evening to everyone. And very glad to have all of you all join us today. My name is Pin. So I'll walk you through very briefly information about SMU as well as the Master of IT and Business program. And so very briefly about SMU, we were established in the year 2000, and in fact next year we'll be celebrating our silver jubilee of our 25th anniversary. So currently SMU has 6 different schools as well as 2 colleges. And we are from the School of Computing and Information Systems, which is the only IT school in SMU. And over the years, we have actually 42 degree programs. And in terms of our full-time students, we have more than 3,200 postgraduate students. And to date, we have more than 40,000 alumni. And just to briefly mention also that if you are not familiar with SMU, we are a city campus that's very well connected by 4 different MRT lines. So this is where we are situated. We are at the tail end of the very famous Orchard Road shopping belt. And also, if you're familiar with the Marina Bay Sands, you can see that it's right up here at the right-hand side corner, and from SMU to Marina Bay Sands is just a very short distance of travel by about maybe 5 to 10 minutes by train. And moving on, also to share that in terms of our School of Computing and Information Systems, and according to the Computer Science ranking, School of Computing and Information Systems, or SCIS, is actually ranked 13 in Asia in terms of the AI research that's based on data available from 2013 to 2014. And so today you're here to learn more about MITB. So what is MITB's objective? So MITB mainly aims to train working professionals in the ICT section, which is intersecting between IT and business. So we are training not just IT professionals, but people who also have the business acumen And the different areas that we're training people in are our 4 specialization tracks in financial technology and analytics, or we call it FinTech for short, analytics, AI, as well as digital transformation. And we're very humbled by the rankings that we have attained over the past 6 years with QS. So we are QS ranked for business analytics, and we're very proud to share that we are top 2 in Asia in the rankings for 2024, and we are hoping that we can keep up with this excellent ranking score. And just a very brief history of MITB. We started in the year 2007 with the Financial Services Tech and Ops track. And over the years, in 2011, we launched the Analytics track. And back then, we were the only university locally with an analytics specialization. And in 2018, we launched the Artificial Intelligence track. Of course, if you fast forward today, GenAI is everything now. And back then, we were one of the early movers as well into the AI education. And then back in 2021, we also launched the Digital Transformation track. Okay. And this is to share with you briefly, as an international student, when you come to MITB, you will join us as a full-time student. So this is our program schedule now. For the green boxes that you see, these are what we call the regular terms, which are 12 weeks long. For each of the regular term, there's actually 10 weeks of courses, 1 week for break and 1 week for exam. And then it's interspersed with the blue color short terms, or we call them the special terms, which are in November and July, which are 5 weeks long. So during the short terms, we actually launch shorter courses, or we also encourage our students to go out for either a summer exchange or a winter exchange. So for a full-time student, the minimum candidature is actually 1 year. We do have students who work really hard and are able to complete within the minimum period of 1 year, that's 12 months. Our normal candidature is 18 months, which is actually 5 regular terms. So assuming if you were to join us in August, you can complete by the January term next year. And maximum candidature for full-time students would be 2 years from the date of joining us. So in terms of general graduation requirements, in order to graduate from MITB, you need to complete 15 course units. So typically each course unit is about 30 class hours. So the breakdown here, as you can see in this table, for the first course unit, it is actually a postgraduate professional development course, which is made up of 4 different workshop topics. So our Office of Postgraduate and Professional Programs actually holds many different workshops throughout the entire year. A student just needs to pick and choose interesting topics to them. They attend the workshops, 4 of them, in order to earn a 1 course unit, which is a pass-fail grade. Then next we come down to MITB's program core. There are 3 program cores, namely spreadsheet modeling for decision making, computational thinking with Python, and also statistical thinking with data science. So these are our program cores. So all students need to complete these 3 program cores. And depending on the interest of the student, they then need to complete 4 track courses as well as 3 track electives. And we have this category known as the open electives. So under open electives, there are many options there. You can either choose to do an internship or a capstone project, which is worth 2 course units. Or if you feel that you would like to study more coursework, that is also possible. You can choose to do other courses within the MITB curriculum. Or in addition to that, you can also choose to cross-enroll into selected courses from other SMU Master's programs. And on top of that, you can also choose to go on an overseas study mission or an overseas exchange. And there is also an option for our MITB students to cross-enroll into 2 PhD level courses. So I would say that there are plenty of choices for students as to how they would like to complete their open electives. So what you can see here is actually a summary of all the courses that are offered by MITB. So at a quick glance, I would say that there are close to 60 different courses available. So our students are actually spoiled for choice. We offer very new courses such as Web3 in tokenized assets and NFTs, Web3 in digitalized currencies. We also have the very new courses such as prompt engineering for large language models, and other courses such as blockchain technology, robotic process automation for business applications, so on and so forth. So this is actually a very busy slide. So if you would like to look at the courses in detail, you can either go to our website or you can scan the QR code here to download the MITB brochure. And also to elaborate a little more about practicum, which is either internship or capstone project. So as a full-time student, the student can actually choose to go for an internship, which has a duration of 6 months, and it will be supervised by a company sponsor. Dawn will touch a bit more about internship later, because this is actually one of the important aspects in our program that is helmed by Dawn, who is from the Career Services team. So there are also students who choose to do a capstone project instead of an internship. So the main difference between a capstone project and an internship is that for a capstone project, there is a goal in mind, a problem statement that the student actually comes up with, and also an intended outcome. And it is actually supervised by an SMU faculty member. And depending on situation, there could also be a company sponsor that comes in as well to provide some stipend or the problem statement or the data. And also, this is just to share with you where do our students actually come from. In terms of academic background, I would say that 1/3 of them actually come from business and finance. You may be thinking that this is an IT program, and so we only take in IT students. That's not true. We actually welcome students from all different disciplines, but we do require students to actually have a good interest in IT as well as the business aspects of IT. So you can see here also that we have close to 40% of students who come from computing and engineering background, and we also have students from other backgrounds. So very interestingly, we have students who are non-IT background. For example, I've come across some students who are actually medical doctors. We also had students who are lawyers. And we also had students who've had PhD degrees, and they decided to make a career change. That's why they joined MITB. And in terms of nationality, I would say that we are mainly very strong with the Singaporean core due to the government's push for Singapore to be more tech, to develop ourselves to be more IT related. And besides that, of course, we have about 1/4 of our students from China, and we have a good percentage, 12% of students who are from other ASEAN countries such as Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia. We have about 8% of students from India, and then from other Asia, we have about 3 to 4%. So we really hope to be able to attract more Japanese students to join our cohort. And in terms of overseas experience, we have launched overseas programs since 2023. That was post-COVID, when travel borders were open and restrictions were lifted. So for now, we have 6 partners, ranging from Aalto University in Finland to Bocconi in Italy, Erasmus Rotterdam School of Management from Netherlands, as well as Hido Tsubashi. We also have an exchange program with them. And in China, we have Shanghai Jiao Tong University as well as Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. So we have different kinds of exchange programs, both summer programs as well as short-term exchange, as well as full-term exchange. And so besides studying at MITB, we also organize quite a number of social events. So it's not just studying and working hard. Yeah, the student can also play hard as well. So these are just some of the activities that we've had over the years. And just for the upcoming August, we're going to be bringing back our durian party as well. If you are aware, in Singapore or in Southeast Asia, the king of food is actually known as the durian. Yes, and this is one of the signature events that we have for our students and our alumni. Right, so in terms of admission criteria, I understand that Emmy went through very briefly just now. So for, as what I've mentioned just now, we welcome students with a bachelor degree in any discipline. You need to have an aptitude test score, which could come in the form of GMAT, GRE, or an SMU admissions test. If your degree was not taught in English, then we would require a TOEFL or IELTS score. And we conduct interviews for all shortlisted candidates. And this just to share the different range of scholarships that we offer at SMU MITB. So for Japanese students, we offer the MITB Excellence Scholarship. There's also the MITB Scholarship. The scholarship value is different from 15,000 to 5,000. Right, and besides that, there are also opportunities for outstanding students to win the IMDA Gold Medal Award, as well as from SAS Institute, which is a software house, there's also a top student award. And in terms of application process, so once you submit your application, our office actually process the application quite fast. I would say it takes between 1 to 2 weeks for us to contact you. And if you're shortlisted, we will arrange for an admissions interview with the respective track directors. The interview outcome usually would be also in about 1 to 2 weeks' time. And there it comes a time where if you do not have your GMAT, GRE or SMU test scores or your language scores yet, you can still submit your application. Upon the interview, if we find you suitable, we will give you a conditional offer, right? That's where you'll be given a period of time, usually around 1 month, to provide the outstanding test scores before we actually convert that into a full admission offer for you. And upon accepting the full admission offer, you will need to pay the deposit for the program. And this is the matriculation date, which is actually for our August intake. So August intake has closed. Now we are currently recruiting for the January intake. And application has started since 1st of June, and it would end on the 31st of October. Okay, so now I'd like to hand this over to my colleague, Dawn.
Thank you, Li Fin. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. My name is Dawn, and I'm a career advisor from the SMU Career Services team. So I've been working alongside with the MITB team and the students from the MITB program for the last couple of years. I consider it a huge privilege as I've really experienced and journeyed with many different students across different backgrounds from different countries. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm going to take the next couple of minutes to share with you a bit more about what you can expect in terms of support from the career services team to help you to move forward or to help you to achieve your career goals. Next slide, Lupin. Thank you. So if you join SMU, our university is not only committed to providing you with a high quality education, but we're also here to help you to map out your career development, right? So if you can see the couple of gray boxes, these are some of the activities and some of the resources that I will go through in a bit of a detail, so that you know what you can experience here if you are a student with us in MITB. So first of all, you can see the nice team photo. That is my team. We are in SMU, we are called the Dado Ko Hui Ming Career Center. So all of us are in this photo are professional certified career coaches. So we've done our certifications, etc., and we do personalized and customized one-on-one career coaching sessions, where we sit with you from the very beginning of your program to discuss what are your goals, your interests in the various careers. Maybe we will go through with you about your strengths and where you can, look for your areas to map out the certain paths, etc. So all these is done one-to-one, meaning that it is very personalized, because we understand that everyone comes from a different background. Everyone is looking for something that is, very individual to yourself, right? So this consultation is, kept P&C, and we walk with you through the time that you're in school, and you'll be glad to know that it doesn't end the moment you finish. You will also have the support for up to 3 years after you graduate. So, basically from the moment that you step into the doors of SMU up till even 3 years after you graduate, you can reach out to us to make an appointment, and then you will have personalized individual consultation sessions with your career advisor. So some of the other events and activities that you can expect to go through, for example, will be the career workshops and seminars. This is where you can learn about various topics. For example, mainly all career related, right? To help you to build a foundation in preparation for like your internship search or your job search. Or maybe even if you're an experienced individual, just to help you to progress in your respective areas of expertise, right? So some of the basic things that we do would be like resume writing, interview skills. We will help you with doing a mock interview preparation with you before you go for your actual interview, just for you to practice and hone your skills. We also teach you, networking skills. I mean, this is essential, right? I mean, to get your job. To know people, that is the important skill. It sounds easy, but it's not. So job search strategies and so on. So we also have various big scale events like career fairs. So for career fairs, I think if you're a new grad, or if you've like in university, you have experienced the companies rally together and they come onto the campus, and students get to meet with different employers from across all sectors. So we have a very, very strong employer network. Besides doing student coaching, all of us, even myself, we are also the person that works directly with the industry. So that gives us an edge in terms of understanding what's out there in the job market, what our employers want, and then we can bring it back and give the same market intel to our students. So we also have our resources in-house. We have a career portal where you can access a database of jobs and internship postings, where, as I mentioned earlier, we work directly with our employers. So when they have opportunities, they will reach out to us and share with us, what are they hiring for? Is it an internship, or is it a talk, or is it a job posting, right? So we will share that with students through our internal career portal. We also have a colleague that takes care of exploration of international opportunities. So what is this, right? Because, we have a lot of international students, and we know that Singapore is, we are a small country, right? So we understand that students may have aspirations to explore beyond Singapore. Sometimes, in fact, we see that there's a trend of students being interested to go back to home country, for opportunities. So our colleague will try to build links and bridges to allow our students who are interested to go outside of Singapore to explore. And it's not here, but we also have a mentorship program. So of course, later on you will get to meet some of our very established alumni. But we do have we understand the importance of having that somebody to talk to, somebody to give you advice and to maybe walk you along the journey. So we do have mentoring programs as well. So in a nutshell, all of the above things that I've mentioned are here to provide support and equip you with necessary resources to embark on your respective journeys, career progression, internship, job searches, all towards the direction that you have in mind with regards towards your careers. So I hope that I've given you a bit of information in terms of what we do as a team. Yes, and then maybe we can move on. And then if you have any questions, you can feel free to let me know later. Lalipin, you can move on to the next slide. Yeah, so I think this is a very interesting and colorful slide. So you will recognize some of the brands on this slide because these are some of the companies, not exhaustive. There are more, of course. This is just a snapshot of the companies that our students have interned in, right? I'm sure you recognize some of them. So these are for internships, and we always encourage our students, especially for the internship, right? It's your best chance to explore. So maybe if you are in a bank now, maybe you want to do e-commerce, or you want to go to join a pharmaceutical, right? Because what is the best time that you can go and explore and try something that you've never tried before? Internship is one of the best ways. Next slide. So another colorful slide. The difference between this one and the other is not very much. It's just that these are where our students have landed jobs in, right? So again, you certainly will be able to recognize more than 9 out of 10 of these companies that are listed here. So what we're trying to show is really the breadth of the scope, the breadth of industries that you have potential opportunities to pursue your next job or next career with. Okay, next. Okay, so this is MITB, right? It's all about data. So we also want to show you some data, right? Thanks to our alumni who have provided the information, we've managed to gather the employment statistics. So we are very proud to share that 9 out of 10 of our students successfully managed to secure employment within 6 months of graduation. And there are a lot of numbers there. I'll leave you to take a snapshot or take a view, but all these information are in our graduate employment brochure that's on public domain anyway. So as you can see, I think maybe just look at the top row, right? I mean, different tracks, there are very slight variations in terms of the mean salary. I mean, this is all in SGD. So maybe some of you are like quickly doing your conversions right now, but this is something that is the most recent for the class of 2023, our most recent graduates, salaries that we have gathered. Okay, so next. Yeah. So I think, yes, I think that, okay, yeah. And you've heard from Emmy, you've heard from Lipin. These are the tracks, the 4 tracks that we have in MITB. So we just wanted to give you a bit of a view of some of the type of jobs that are obvious to each of these tracks that are also what we know based on our interactions with students. These are some of the highly sought after jobs that we see our fintech students gravitating towards roles in the financial industry, fintech, and then for analytics, for AI, for digital transformation, especially for like analytics and digital transformation, we see them going everywhere because it doesn't mean that, oh, I'm in maybe a tech program, I only need to join tech, or, because all these are positions that are required in every industry, in every company. So it depends on your preference, even like you want to join startup, etc. So these are some of the obvious positions that you may look forward to. Yeah, I think that is all for my sharing. I think the next segment will be what we're really looking forward to this whole evening. We are very privileged today to have welcome back 3 of our established alumni. We have Mr. Yusuke, we have Joyce, we have Ulysses. So as you can see on the screen right now, I'm not going to read out everything, but and in fact, I would like to invite them to unmute themselves and join me in this next 15 to 30 minutes as we, go through some of the burning questions that we anticipate all, prospective students like yourself want to know. Okay, so I would invite the 3 of you to unmute, and maybe I'd like to start off with asking all 3 of you, Yusuke, Joyce, and Yuli, to give us a brief introduction of yourself, and then we can move into some of the questions. So maybe I'll invite Yusuke, since I see you unmute yourself, so maybe you can go first. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sure. So shall I proceed with answering the question to the
No, maybe a self-introduction first.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm originally from Nara, Japan, and I started my first job as an engineer in 2010 in Tokyo. And in 2015, I changed my job. I started to working as a data scientist. And then I started to want to study data science and machine learning at school in a structured way. At that time, I had the opportunity to come to Singapore on a business trip, and I saw success of Singapore, and I liked the multicultural environment there. So I decided to go back to school in Singapore. So this way, I applied for schools in Singapore, quitted my job, and came to Singapore in 2017. And I spent 5 times, which means 20 months, and graduated in 2019. And then I switched to long-term visit pass to prepare for job hunting. And fortunately, I could find a job as a machine learning engineer in an e-commerce company in Singapore. And that's my current job.
A very big e-commerce company. Yes.
There
Thank
are
you
the-
so much. Thank you so much, Yusuke, for sharing with us a background of yourself and then, bringing from your Japan to Singapore. So I think, really, I think our Japanese audience here can really relate to you. I would like to pass the time on to Joyce. Maybe Joyce, you can give a self-introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone, I'm Joyce. I'm from Taiwan and I am a 2022 spring term intake student in MITB. Then I just graduated last year, August. Yeah, so I took around 18 months to complete the whole program. So actually, I'm a fact track student that apply for the MITB program. So that it means that my undergrad and my master is it's a dual degree program. So before starting my study in MITB, I do not have any full-time experience. So I'm really a fresh grad student. Yeah, then start trying to find a job in Singapore. So if anyone interested in this part, maybe I can share it later. Yeah, then my undergrad study is in finance. So the reason why I want to apply for this MITB is I feel that the technical skill is quite very important in these few years, and it's very important skills that every companies are trying to hunt for talents to join their companies. Yeah. Then now I am working as a risk analyst in one of the hedge fund and headquartered in Singapore. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Okay, and then last but not least, Yuli, tell us a bit about you.
Hi everyone. So my name is Ulysses. You can call me Yuli. Hello from Singapore. I'm a local boy. I grew up in Singapore. And right now I work in Grab, this company called Grab. You can think of it as Uber, but it's in Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, the biggest mode of private car hires, I would say, is Grab. They're the market leader. So I work there. We have millions of customers. My role in the company is a senior data scientist. So every day I'm programming in Python, I'm doing machine learning, and lately every day I've been doing Gen AI projects. A very exciting time to be a data scientist. This is my second career, and it is only possible with MITB. MITB really enabled me to do this career switch. Before that, my first training was in accounting and finance, where I work as a consultant with a Big Four, KPMG. KPMG was the company I worked at. And some of my clients also included financial institutes, where I looked at front office, back office, mid office, all of those things.
Thank you, Yuli. So one thing that caught my attention was the career switch, right? So we have 3 very interesting alumni here, right? One is a career switcher, one is a fresh grad. Of course, Yusuke has a very nice long history with technology, but you also decided to upgrade and take on a more structured learning, right? So I think one of the key things that all students or prospective students want to know is, why did you choose the program that you chose? Okay, so for today, of course, why did you choose to join the MITB program in Singapore, in SMU? So maybe I can invite Yusuke to share. Yes.
Yeah, sure. So there are three reasons. First reason is the flexible choice. So as explained by the admission staff, there are many electives, and there are not many required core courses. And it's even possible to take courses from other tracks. So no need to take many courses not interesting, just to graduate. And second reason is the flexible pacing. So it's possible to graduate within 1 year by taking more courses in each term. That's also possible. And also possible to graduate gradually. So it means spending more terms to take more interesting courses. And it's even possible to switch to part-time if full-time job is found during the study. And third reason is the convenient location of the campus. And this is important, at least for me. Otherwise, it's painful to come to the library to study every day.
Thank you. I fully agree. I mean, the third one just stood out for me, right? The location. So we really have the best location. And if any one of you in the audience, if you've been to Singapore before, you may know that we are really, it's not only the central part of it. We are surrounded by museums, by library, by heritage. So yes. Thank you so much for Yusuke. And okay, maybe I can ask Joyce. I mean, you did mention that this was a fast track program for you, but so this is kind of like in the package, right? So how do you feel now that that you've completed, that you graduated, and before you started this program, knowing that you had to take it on, versus now that you've completed the program, like, if I were to ask you, would you choose MITB? What would you say?
I think it's pretty good after like completing the whole program, and it's actually like fulfilled my expectation. And I think a few reasons why I choose MITB could be like, the first one is that as I think it's Don or like Liping said, SMU MITB is Asia's first professional master program to provide the well-trained and comprehensive data analytics course. And I think it is very well known in the industry and is kind of a leader of this field. So I think that is part of a reason why I choose it. Then the second one is, just as Yuzuki said, the flexibility. We can either like choose our courses across different tracks. Then I think beside this one is also we can even transfer our track, like maybe from analytics to AI if you want to be a data scientist or want to learn something deeper, you can also do this session. Then and I think also that we can convert as a full-time or like part-time, convert from a full-time student to a part-time student if we already found a job in Singapore and need more time to complete your study. I think this kind of flexibility is really helpful for us to have a good time management for our study and our career seeking journey lah. Yeah, and I think the last one is the abundant and concentrating resource in MITB. So this is my own perspective. So MITB is actually the only master program under the School of Computing and Information System. So for me, this means that all of the resources will be allocated to this program, and we will enjoy the maximum of the resources during our study journey. Yeah, but this one is not official statement, but like for me, I think this is really true. Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce. Okay, so Yuli, how about you? Why did you choose this?
Yeah. So before MITB, I was a consultant with accounting and finance training. My life was really fast paced. It was very exciting and the prospects were really good. But even back in 2019, it was very obvious that technology was the way forward. And back then, but the only technology I knew was Excel spreadsheets. And I didn't think that would take me through the next 40 years of my career. So it was very obvious that I needed to learn some tech, right? And here in Singapore, the top 3 universities include SMU, and SMU has a reputation. SMU's reputation is that they will get you the best job that you can possibly get. They're really good at getting you jobs. It is known amongst the locals, and the evidence is there. So to me, back then when I was a career switch, my priority is I'm not here just to study the latest technology, but I also need to get a job. This career switch has to be a career switch. And so it was quite an easy choice actually, that looking at the 3 universities and whatever internationally was offered here, SMU was the best at that. And I took the chance with SMU. I actually entered SMU as a fintech student, finance analytics student. So I wasn't an AI student at first. And this is the other thing that I really know now about SMU, which I would share, is that SMU will bring you as far as you want to go. If you are willing to put in the effort and you have the motivation, if you want to go to the moon, SMU will bring you there. So I started as a fintech student because I had no coding background. But the professors was like, if you really want to try learning technology, learn machine learning and code machine learning, even though if you have no technical backgrounds in coding, if you are willing to try, I'll give you the chance. And they gave me the chance. So within the first semester, I switched my specialization from fintech over to AI, and I graduated on AI. And they had so much resources to bring someone like me from zero coding experience to I'm a actual working data scientist today, and I code every day for my life. In fact, in the AI track, students to the left and right of me were computing science students or engineers by training. And I graduated on the dean's list, which means that to say I actually beat them in this program. And it was not just my motivation, but SMU really had the resources and the teachers there to equip me with the skills. And that just worked really well. These are the big 2 reasons I would share.
Wow. I hope everyone listening to this, to your testimony, is very inspired. So, change is hard, right? And on so many levels. So you've really invested in yourself, and you really got to where you wanted to. And of course, it's with lots of your hard work and right decisions, right? Like you said, joining MITB was one of the decisions that you've made, and that hopefully, helped you to get you where you wanted to be. So hold on the line, because I'm going to ask you to talk about your internship. So why I chose to ask about internship is, again, I feel that a lot of students that I meet during my consultation sessions, I also ask them, why did you choose MITB? So 9 out of 10 of them will tell me, oh, because I understand that you guys always have this very robust internship component, right? So that's why I wanted 3 of you to, or maybe just give us a little bit of insight into your internship experience. Yeah, and I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to talk about the process? Do you want to talk about the company that you've interned with, your experience? Yeah, so I'll leave it very free and open to you. So Yuli, you since you're here, you can start. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a really amazing internship experience, and they're not paying me to say this. So I interned at a tech startup called Interviewer.ai, and they got me on board as a data scientist intern, and I worked directly in the CTO's team doing the data science work. The project back then, and even I guess today, is still very cutting edge, right? What they wanted to build was an AI tool to listen to a person's HR interview and help the HR specialist decide if they should hire this person based on how good their soft skills are, how professional they are, whether they were having a good impression, whether they can answer these questions correctly. And they wanted us, the data scientists, to build an AI that can evaluate soft skills. Even today, that's quite a task to us. And I'm very happy to say that when during my time there, we did build that. It was 80% accurate, which is so scary because we didn't expect it to be so good. Very dystopian in some ways. But I had a very good experience because I really learned how to push machine learning models into production and think about how to design things from scratch. In fact, by the time I joined that internship, I was somewhere in the middle of my MITB experience. And MITB is a very technical course. If you come to this master's, don't expect to be drinking and celebrating every day. They will put you through some hard work, but that's also why you're here, right? When I started the internship in the first 1 month, with working with the CTO, we quickly realized, the CTO and I, that actually I was more technical than him in terms of data science. Yes, he's more technical from the technology point of view, but my MITB training enabled me to be more technical than him. And I had this very rare opportunity because he sat me down within the first month and said, are you confident to lead the data science team for this 5 months while you're here? Because you seem to really know more about this than I did. And I said, yes. And then he asked me, what do I need? And I told him, well, I would like another intern. And so he got me another intern and I led the whole data science team for 5 months just because he trusted me. And I have proven myself to be more technical than him in data science. And of course, MITB played a big part of that. I went to work, I had questions I didn't know. I went to school at night. I asked my professors, how do I solve this technical problem at work? They gave me advice and I solved it the next day, rinse and repeat. A fantastic experience.
Wow. Intern. So they got an intern for an intern. Did I get that correct?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay. This is new. I never, this is the first time I'm hearing this story, but fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I think quite a number of students could be fearful to do internships in startup, right? So I think your testimony is giving us the spectrum of, so many possibilities. And it's really what you can carve out for yourself and make the opportunity yours. So thank you, Yuli. Joyce, how about your internship? I mean, for you, right? You were like you said, you're a fresh graduate. You were like in full student mode, right? So internship is extremely important to you. It's like your opportunity to try different things. So what was it like for you? What did you do? What kind of job and which company?
So I was actually interning at one of the local banks in Singapore. So you may see the bank's name in the previous slides. Yeah, so as an intern in a trading floor, my work can be briefly categorized into 3 parts. So which are some admin work to support the daily work. Then the 2 main jobs, like my main one is to exploring the physical signals or strategies by one of the analytics methods called PCA to yield curves, and as well as some automation stuff. So it is unlike a very pure data analyst or data scientist role to work with codes every day and dig into data to build a models for a real business case. But for me, I did learn a lot of skills that does not teach in school, and even more important than our technical techniques. For example, the domain knowledge and the communication skills as well. So as one of the post said, sometimes those are more valuable than our coding abilities to our companies. I mean, those soft skills are. Yeah. So to sum up, I would say I truly appreciate that what this internship gave me during the period of 6 months, because the journey means a lot to me. It not only makes me to meet a lot of new friends in this industry, but also gave me a clear direction of my future career and more understanding of how the whole markets work in the real world. So I would say the internship is a really good opportunity for us to put what we learn from courses into the practice. So which will help us to understand the algorithm behind and even application of the analysis method. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. 2 things, right, which really stood out. It's that, like, your mention about how the internship experience helped you to gain more than just the technical skills, but at the same time, you also said that, you did really put your classroom to work, transfer the knowledge from classroom to applied knowledge at work. So I think that is like really the whole definition of an internship and how how that is supposed to benefit the person going on the internship. So and I think, you know, I'm looking at time, so I wanted to move on to the next question, and I'd like to invite Yusuke to tell us, you know, I mean, how did the overall SMU experience with MITB, you know, help you move into your current job? I mean, like, you're with Shopee, right? One of the most sought after employers possibly, right? So tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So MITB program helped me in two ways. The first, I could pass the job interviews. Yeah, so I could answer the machine learning questions during technical interviews and eventually got job offers, and that's why I'm working right now. Second is MIT program helped me with my successful projects at my company. Let me share two highlights. The first one is the fake identity card detection. So to use financial services, some users submit photos of fake identity cards, such as fake name, fake date of birth, and perhaps printed photocopy of cards. And I developed the deep learning models which can detect those fakes. And I took deep learning course at MITB actually, so I could utilize those understanding my knowledges to get this job done. A second highlight is the similar item recommendation. So in e-commerce app, recommended items are shown below each item, but the recommendation by visual similarity had room for improvement. So I developed deep learning model which can extract item image embedding, which can be used for visually similar item search.
Thank you so much. You know, we can relate to what you've shared because we are the consumers using the Shopee app. So thank you so much for your hard work. Okay, can I invite Yuli? Tell us a bit about, you know, to summarize, right? I think we've heard a lot, but please summarize it for us. How
Right.
did, you know, MITB get you where you wanted to be?
I would say there are two things. The first one is that MITB really taught me how to learn to learn. When you get thrown in the deep end after graduation and you are in your job, learning to learn is very important. You need to know how to be able to get the resources you need to solve the tool. And MITB being a very hard and technical program forces you to learn that. They give you the tools, the resources, you have to learn how to use them, and you need to know how to find resources outside of the program and also amongst your friends that you make to really build something that works. That learning to learn is more important. It's still carrying me through today, especially when Gen AI is coming out. The world is moving every month. New packages are coming out. And if I didn't know how to learn those things, I would have been left behind. Now, the second thing that I still actively take away from MITB is the network. There's a lot of people, both the career staff as well as the peers that I make. In fact, I'm in a couple of chat groups on Telegram and WhatsApp with over 200 of the alumni students from MITB still, where we actively talk about things that we do. So whenever I have a work question technical and I can't solve it by myself, I can't find it online, I would also engage my social network that I met from MITB to say, hey guys, I have this problem. Any ideas or suggestions on how to tackle it? And someone in that 200 plus audience would know, and they would reach out and share with me their experience. So this network is still growing actually. Current alumni are being added. It's very lively. We have a couple of professors and even CTOs in there. And I'm still actively reaping the rewards as well as helping new data scientists in that chat. This is really how I'm still living the benefits from SMU MITB even after graduating for I think close to 3 years now. Yeah.
Very well said. So strong alumni network is very, very valuable, right? I mean, again, I have to emphasize it's really about your network, your connections. So thank you, Yuli, for you know, making it just solidifying and validating that. Joyce, over to you. As a fresh grad, right? So you are one of our fast track students. You have not only your bachelor but your master's with MITB, and you're in your very first job at the very start of your career, how did this journey help you to where you are right now?
Well, for me, I think it's really the career resources in SMU, and also, as you said, the strong alumni connection in this industry. Yeah, so I'm very thankful to SMU Career Center, especially my career advisor, Don. So for the mock interview arrangement, I still remember like how afraid and nervous I was during my very first time job interview in English. So like English is it's not my mother language, but I think practice really makes perfect. And except for this, I think we can always find new alumni in our dream companies, and they are always very supportive and friendly. So if you reach out to them, they will always, if they have time, they will always answer your questions and try their best to guide you how to pass the interview and also get the offer. Yeah, and I think that is really a good resources we can leverage on, and that is how I, as a fresh graduate, I can successfully find a full-time job in Singapore, even though this time is very hot. It's very a hard time to find a job in Singapore. Yeah, and I think the second point is the intense course arrangement with the practical business case for us to be prepared as professionals in the industry is one of another like strengths and the things I think MITB really helped me, because through the whole journey I did a lot of tools and also have many business knowledge and know lots of methods how to use learn a lot of analytical methods to put what I learned into the real business case. And I think for lots of things, that is how I can demo my projects to all of the interviewees and show that, oh, I do have this kind of mindset and I done this kind of thing before. So all of the courses, they will all have the projects, I think, at the end of the course. So you have to present to your classmates and also the professor or even the industry professionals. So that is a way how we learn from maybe academy. I would say that is how we learn from book to put what we learn from book into the real cases lah. Yeah. So I think the courses will be very helpful for us to have a strong mindset to solve all the issues, even though we may not have touched that in the courses before. Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce. So, yes, you are most welcome. I think, of course, our role is really to help our students to be successful, right? I mean, career services, we are there to journey with you, to get you closer to where you want to be by providing tools, resources, or even moral support, right? I think that helps as well. So, and then the second part is that you mentioned it, which all three of you did say, is really the curriculum that really helped you to up your skill level, right? I think that is still very, crucial in terms of making a choice as to, do I choose this or do I choose something else? So I really appreciate all three of you for your very open sharing today. I want to ask Emmy, are there questions for the panelists so far from the chat? Do you want to take the next 1 to 2 minutes to take some of the questions so we have three of them right here with us?
Yeah, thank you for your very various information and answers. There are questions from audience to panelists.
If there are,
yeah.
I mean, if there isn't, then we can continue with a few slides. Or there are, is it? Okay.
Thank you. At this moment, the question is all for the admission about the program. So.
Okay. So I think we can end off the discussion with the alumni, right now, and then maybe Lipin, you can, please continue with the rest of the information. So of course, to the audience, you know the three of them. We've had their profile photos and their name. Feel free to connect with them on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is a platform that we use very often. If you have any other question, I'm sure they will tell you, help you to answer through the questions that you have. Yeah. So again, thank you to the three of you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so
Dawn.
much.
Thank you, Dawn, and thanks to our alumni Yosuke, Yuli, and Joyce. It was very insightful sharing. As much as you took away from MITB the curriculum, I'm sure the audience also learned a lot from your sharing today. So just before we wrap up, I just want to share very quickly a bit more about admin details for program fees. There is an online application of 100 Singapore dollars, but we're also providing an application fee waiver code this evening for applicants for the January 2025 intake. The fee waiver code is in all capital letters, MITB INFO 1024. And upon acceptance of our offer, there is a registration fee of 500 Singapore dollars. And as for tuition fee, as of today, which is inclusive of the goods and service tax from Singapore, it's around 52,000 Singapore dollars, which is actually payable in 3 billings. And before we move off to Q&A, I just want to take this opportunity again to thank our panelists as well as Dawn, as well as all our audience that stays throughout with us. And if you're looking to join us for our upcoming events, you can scan the QR code here. And again, for the MITB brochure, you can also scan the QR code to download a copy of it. We also have some key information, which you can also find through downloading from scanning this QR code here. So if there are any inquiries that if we are not able to address during this session, please feel free to email us at mitb@smu.edu.sg. Yeah, so I'll stop the sharing now and we can go into Q&A.
Thank you. So could you keep your screen shared? Because
Okay.
yeah, without the slides, only our faces coming up to our panels. Thank you. Thank you. So let's move on to the Q&A session with the audience. ちょっとではね、ご質問に移りたいと思います。で、結構パネリストの方はね、かなりエンジニアの方もいましたし、あと大学卒業してすぐに、MITB に来られた方とかもいらっしゃって、追加でご質問とか、あとは、ご相談とかあれば、いつでも私たちのところに来ていただければおつなぎもできますし、ぜひご相談ください。では、ちょっと皆さんのご質問からいきたいと思います。So the first question is about the curriculum. I saw there is a prompt engineering in the curriculum at MITB, but the question is, can I study prompt engineering at MITB program?
Yes, you can actually, the student can actually take it as an elective. So it is actually under the AI course series as well as the analytics course series. So student can actually choose to do that on top of other electives as well.
Yeah, great. So the next question is about career and visa status. So I saw there are year by year the visa restriction seems to severe for international student, but there is an opportunity for international student to secure a job at Singapore if I choose a data analyst for the job.
I think maybe the question is with regards to the possibilities of finding a job in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
So
yes. And also if there are some major jobs or relatively some kind of easy.
sure.
Yeah. get visa
Yes.
for international?
So yes, so it is a fact. I think if you're keeping up with news, or even you like just do a search on the news, that we do have legislation to follow. We do have to follow the government guidelines in terms of hiring. Companies will have to follow the kind of restrictions in terms of like the quota given to them with regards to how many international talent can a company hire. So I think this is not just for Singapore. I believe every country has a guideline to follow. So in Singapore, of course, I think the one thing to know, of course, is that we are a small country. So definitely there are finite opportunities, right? The competition will be there. It is very relative, right? Like, for example, Japan is a very large country. You have a large population. So of course, there's a lot of competition. So I think you can apply the same logic into Singapore job market, where although we are smaller, but we also have a very large population. So I think the competition will be there. I would not be able to guarantee anybody a job. We are not headhunters. I mean, I have to say we are career services. That's why I've been reiterating. We feed you the resources. We help you to understand how to build your network. So, but we do not have a placement model. So in terms of finding opportunities in Singapore, so far, the MITB program is one of the most successful programs in terms of students being able to stay on in Singapore with a job that they want. That is what I can share. A lot of hard work that they put in, right? Throughout the program, you have to be very invested, very committed, and very deliberate with what you do when you first land in Singapore, when you first start school, all the way to your internship, all the way to a couple of months before you graduate. You have to put in the hard work to search and apply and interview. Throughout the program, we will feed you with resources such as I mentioned, career fairs, career talks, events, workshops. Maybe today your resume is not great. You attend the resume workshop, you consult with me 2, 3, 5 times, 7 times, and then you get better at that. So by the time you are ready to really apply and go and face the interviewers, by then you were conducted when you go through 10 interviews, etc. So it's really going through the process. And I think you can see, right, from today, we have Joyce, we have Yusuke, who has successfully managed to, work in Singapore. I think that is what they wanted, and they have managed to do that. And they are just one of a few of our international group of students who have successfully done that. So it is possible. It is going to be challenging. It's not straightforward. Maybe 5, 7 years ago, it would have been easier. But every year, I think it does become, the competition grows, because as the talent pool grows, that is where you face more competition. And then of course, the part that we are unable to really control is legislation, what the government decides. Is it going to be tightened this year? Is it going to be loosened? Is it going to be more quota, less quota? So that's part one. The second part is, yes, is there some kind of role that you, or a particular track out of the 4 you want to choose so that you get a higher chance? I would not be able to recommend a track for you. I would just want to say that there are certain, it is really what is a skill needed in the market. Like, for example, I think Yuli, you said something, the buzzword Gen AI, right? So perhaps AI is right now what everybody wants to go for, right? But if you ask me 5 years ago, I think it was fintech. So it really depends on what is the demand of the what is out there, and this changes every year. So yeah. And as any one of the panelists, all of you are working in your respective roles, right? Do you want to contribute to this question as well? Is there a particular track that you think maybe stands a higher chance in jobs after they graduate?
Thank you, Don. Yeah, so depend on the career destination of the candidate and also some regulatory, depending on the situation. It depends, but we can support for job placement and actually Alpha students who choose Singapore MBA or graduate school in Singapore are successfully secure their job in Singapore. So ぜひ就職もですね、ご相談いただければと思います。はい。では、ちょっとね、結構時間も押していますので、あとは、クラスプロファイルというかね、ところですかね。So there are some times up, so let's two more questions. Sorry, one more questions at the end. So about the class profile, how many Japanese students are there in current cohort?
I would say that we have very few Japanese students throughout, and perhaps currently who are still in the system. I would say less than 5 of them are Japanese students, which is why we are very interested in getting more Japanese students to join our cohort to add to our student diversity as well.
Thank you, Lipin. そう、日本人はですね、日本人はですね、少ないですよ、まだ。なので、そもそも SMU 自体がね、とても素晴らしい学校でシンガポールの中心地にあったりっていうところなんですけど、そんなに知らない方もいたりして、で、さらにその中でも、この MBA でもなく、マスター・オブ・ IT in Business っていう、実はシンガポールで就職するには最強のプログラムでね、さっき就職率もすごくいいっておっしゃってましたけれども、なんですが、あんまりね、知らないけど、もうこれからの時代、プロンプトエンジニアリングも学べるし、日本人の方もいらっしゃいましたけれども、エンジニアをされてた方も、いらっしゃるぐらい、ハイレベルな学びもできる。で、PhD のね、コースも取れたりするっておっしゃってましたけれども、で、しかもインターンもついてるっていうことで、今日ご紹介したんですが、日本人の方もね、なので、まだまだ全然チャンスがあると思いますし、英語も、あとはアプリケーションのところも、あとはちょっと今日ね、すごくたっぷり、卒業生の方とアドミッションの方にお話しいただいて、追加でご質問とか、もっと話聞きたいとかですね。あとは、自分に合った、プログラム、グラデュエートプログラムなのか、その MBA なのかとか、学校のご相談もアルファでお受けしていますので、ぜひご相談いただければと思います。So thank you all for today's webinar. At the last of this webinar, we would like you to give us some comment and remarks from the alumni and admissions.
Yeah, so I'll share that as a personal story, the last two questions, which was what kind of Japanese students are there here, and also to Dawn's question about getting a job, right? So all of my friends in MITB and I, when we graduated, I do not know anyone who didn't get a job. I'm not promising that you get a job, but just to share, everyone I knew together who studied with me got a job. And that includes Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, Malaysian, Indonesian. So it appeared that all my friends, regardless of where they came, they had a good outcome and everyone managed to get something that they wanted. I myself got my first choice. I remember when I was in MITB halfway through, I was sitting dinner one day with my friends and I said, how nice it would be if I could work at Grab after this. And I'm working in Grab today. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Who would you go next? So, Yusuke-san, would you go next?
Yeah, just to share my experience. So in my batch, there are very few Japanese students as well. Only two, including me. Yeah. There are more Japanese in MBA though. But anyway, yeah, I think it's good opportunity to study at the school in Singapore before starting working in Singapore. And getting visa is really challenging right now, but it's not impossible. Yeah. So hope everyone can have a good chance for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I think finding a job in Singapore is actually become harder and harder compared to like maybe 3 or 5 years ago. So for me, actually, I think because I'm a latest one that have been graduated this recently, so I think in my case, actually, I'm not possible to find a job after I graduate. So actually, I did take a pause after I graduate for around like 8 months. I back to my country and like trying to find other like opportunities out from Singapore. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I give up the opportunities in Singapore. I also try to like find a job in Singapore. So what for me, my way is to like try to expand your opportunities, not just focus on Singapore, but also other countries and see what is your values and try to find your own strengths and try to prove it that you can really bring something that is a good add-on for the companies. And I think you should also leverage on your connections and that everybody knows that you are really need help. So for me, I do have another like experiences in my own country after graduate. But how I get my current job is through one of the alumni. He helped me to pass my resume to the hiring manager. So that's how I can have a chance to have an interview. And I do talk to all of my like experiences and like let him know how eager I want to work in Singapore, even I am not personally in Singapore. So I think this is actually workable to show that your eagerness if you really want a job. Yeah. So I would say that all my friends in the same batch, they are all managed to have a job in Singapore, but maybe not all of them have chance to get their dream job. But I think at least you have one experience, and that could be a leverage for you to bring you and carry you to another like a better future. So I feel so I think just try to try to meet more people here, and you will know more job opportunities in this market. Try to collect more information as much as possible you can.
Thank you. So,
And maybe before we end off, I'd just like to share that for international students after graduating from SMU, there is a possibility to apply for a long-term visit pass of up to 1 year if you are keen to stay on to look for a job in Singapore. And also, as what Joyce had mentioned, perhaps also to keep your options open. You may find a job in Singapore, or you may also find a job in other countries as well, not just in Singapore. Based on our class of 2023 employment statistics, I would still say that about 96% of full-time students who were trying to look for jobs managed to land a job in Singapore. So there is still a possibility, but of course, one needs to be flexible. You may not end up with a dream job immediately. It may take some time, Yeah, but of course, there is a lot of effort that one has to put in to be able to secure a good job.
Sorry, I think I can share one more thing. So from my perspective and what I observe in the financial markets right now, so I think the Japanese students do have a strain for the companies because lots of companies now are hiring talents that could speak fluent Japanese and English and to understand the market in Japan. So I think maybe right now, like for Japanese students, they might have more opportunities because like lots of companies are looking for this kind of talents. Yeah. So don't give up, and you might have some like unexpected opportunities when you are studying here. Yeah. Even now is like harder period for foreigners to get a job here.
Thank you. Thank you for the very great presentation and valuable information session and also Q&A session. そうですね。ぜひ、ちょっとたくさん皆さん聞きたいことがね、ご紹介したのもアルファで初めてのプログラムで、日本人の方はまだ、今のところね、そんなに少ないんですけど、アルファでやるとね、人気になることがとても多いですし、シンガポールで就職したい方には、さっき申し上げた通りね、とってもいいプログラム。で、ビザがね、以前に比べると、少しこうハイアリングの条件ができたりっていうので、あるんですけど、実際に最後にお話してくださったジョイさんは、今年2024年に卒業して、一旦ね、その後、就職活動もされたってことなんですけど、そういう方もいますので、ぜひ、アプリケーション、まずは合格しないといけないので、合格のところもそうですし、その後の転職活動のところもサポートしております。で、いろいろ聞きたいことがある方も多いと思いますので、直接来ていただければ、私たちの方でもいろいろご相談に乗れますし、あとはアドミッションとか、在校生の方におつなぎすること、卒業生の方におつなぎすることもできますので、ぜひ、個別に相談したいという方は、無料相談まで来ていただければと思います。何度か出てきましたが、来年の1月入学は10月中にね、出願すれば間に合います。できるだけビザとかもあるので、早い方がいいと思うんですが、すぐに相談していただければ、来年の1月も間に合いますし、じっくり準備をして、来年の8月の入学っていうのもありますので、ぜひお早めにご相談ください。はい。では、皆さんもご視聴ありがとうございました。So that's all for today's webinar. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.